Hey folks, welcome back, I'm Julia. So get comfy and prepare yourselves for some next-level, borderline unhinged breakup revenge stories. Today, we are going to explore the most ridiculously creative ways people have made sure their exes never forget them. You think blocking them and posting cryptic quotes is enough? Oh honey, some people treat heartbreak like an Olympic sport. Let's get into it. The fart video siege. Some people send angry texts. Some people air out their ex's dirty laundry online. One woman from the UK, she weaponized beans. After her ex-boyfriend moved on at the speed of light, she decided to make sure his new girlfriend's life stank, literally. She started sending daily fart videos. Yep, every single day. Imagine waking up to a notification, unlocking your phone, and boom. Some lady's face filling the screen, followed by a deep inhale and a sound you can't unhear. And she committed to the bit. This wasn't a one and done. This was a fully planned out fart campaign, like an influencer schedule, but instead of skincare tips, it's methane warfare. The new girlfriend tried to ignore it. She tried to laugh it off. But there's only so many unsolicited butt symphonies one person can take before they snap and take legal action. And that's how this woman ended up in court. Not for harassment, but for weaponized digestion. Stolen turtle. Ever wonder what happens when John Wick meets Animal Planet? Well, this one's a slow burn, literally. A woman, fresh off a breakup, decided that the best way to make her ex suffer wasn't the usual key the car or set his stuff on fire approach. No. She went for something far more diabolical. She stole his turtle, now taking a dog or a cat. That's dramatic, that's emotional, but a turtle, that's patience, that's long-term psychological warfare, and she didn't just take it and disappear. She made sure her ex knew it was out there, somewhere. One day, he received a photo of the turtle casually chilling on a mystery balcony. The next, a video arrived. Same turtle, but this time it was wearing a tiny hat. Then, just as he thought it couldn't get any weirder, he got another picture. The turtle sitting next to a sign that read, "Where am I? Who am I?" And that was it. No ransom note, no further explanation. Just a daily dose of cryptic turtle updates that slowly unraveled this man's sanity. His pet, his little slow-moving companion, was now starring in a psychological thriller that he had no control over. To this day, no one knows what happened to the turtle. Maybe it found peace. Maybe it started a new life. Or maybe, just maybe, it's still out there, waiting for its next great escape. The GPS sabotage. We all know someone who can't function without GPS, and for Ben, his car's navigation system was practically an extension of his brain. His ex-girlfriend, Kelly, knew this all too well. So, one night, while he was sound asleep, she swiped his car keys, logged into his GPS, and made one tiny adjustment. She changed his home address. The next day, after a long, exhausting shift at work, Ben climbed into his car, set his GPS like he always did, and started driving. At first, everything seemed completely normal, but then things started to feel off. The streets grew darker. The familiar neighbourhood houses disappeared, replaced by looming empty warehouses. The sidewalks were eerily silent. The whole place had a distinct serial killer might live here vibe. It wasn't until he pulled up to what looked like the abandoned set of every horror movie ever made that it finally clicked. This was not home. His heart was racing, his palms were sweating, and just as he reached for his phone to figure out what the hell was going on, it rang. And there she was, Kelly, laughing. This woman had turned his usual boring drive home into a full-blown psychological thriller. The tattoo. Couple tattoos. The most permanent way to say, this will definitely last forever. Tennessee tattoo artist Ryan was midway through inking a massive Chronicles of Narnia scene on his girlfriend's back, a sprawling, beautiful tribute to their love. And then, he found out she was cheating. Now, a lesser man would have stopped tattooing. Not Ryan. Instead of Aslan and a magical wonderland, he tattooed a giant, steaming pile of poop, with flies, detailed, shaded, realistic. By the time she realised it was too late, her back was now a permanent Yelp review for her relationship. Ryan. He called it art. The marble in the car door. Christine Gallagher didn't go for immediate chaos. No, she played the long game. Instead of smashing her cheating ex's car windows or keying the side of his precious ride, she went for something far more elegant. Psychological warfare. One night, while he was none the wiser, she carefully opened up the inside of his car door, placed a single marble inside, and sealed it back up. That's it. Just one tiny marble. And then, she waited. At first, he barely noticed it. But then, every time he drove, he started hearing it, an eerie little rolling sound, shifting with every turn, stopping just when he thought he'd figured out where it was coming from. It became his own personal ghost, a mystery he couldn't solve. Frustrated, he took the car to a mechanic. Nothing. Another mechanic. Still nothing. It haunted him for a year. And then, finally, after months of growing paranoia, he found it. A single, lonely marble. And right next to it, a tiny note from Christine that simply read, "Enjoy the ride, cheater." eBay wife auction. Paul Osborne from the UK had a gut feeling that his wife, Sharon, was cheating. Now, a normal person might have confronted their spouse, had an argument, maybe even thrown a dramatic "how could you" moment. But Paul? Oh no. Paul took a different route. He listed her for sale. On eBay. Yes, you heard that right. He uploaded a photo, threw in the name of the man he suspected she was seeing, and, just to really sell the drama, crafted a product description that read, "Don't bid too high, she's worthless." At first, it was just a joke, something petty to get back at her. But then the bids started rolling in. And rolling, and rolling. The whole thing went viral. People weren't just watching, some were actually bidding. At one point, the price hit an absolutely ridiculous £500,100. Sharon, understandably, was livid. Paul, realising that perhaps selling a human being online wasn't the greatest legal or moral decision, quickly deleted the listing. But the internet? The internet never forgets. And now, whenever someone searches his name, his legacy is forever cemented as that guy who tried to auction off his wife. The vanishing Lego collection. Jack, an avid Lego collector, had spent years building a jaw-dropping display. His ex, Ellie, not a fan. So, after their breakup, she didn't destroy his Legos. She donated them all to Goodwill. Imagine coming home and finding empty shelves, knowing that some random kids are now playing with the Millennium Falcon you spent months assembling. Ellie's explanation: now more people can enjoy them. That's not just revenge, that's a tax-deductible heartbreak. The parking ticket scheme. Emily from the UK thought her breakup was just that. A breakup, clean cut, no drama, moving on with life. That was until she got a letter from the court. Confused, she opened it and nearly passed out. Turns out, her ex had pulled off one of the pettiest, longest-running revenge pranks in breakup history. See, before they split, he had bought a second-hand car and, being the oh-so-thoughtful boyfriend he was, registered it in her name. Then, after the breakup, instead of, handling his responsibilities like a functioning adult, he simply abandoned the car on the street and left it there for 3 years. During that time, the tickets piled up and up and up. By the time Emily was officially notified, the damage was jaw-dropping. 749 parking violations, $125,914 in fines. Her driver's license revoked. Oh, and because of unpaid fines, she was banned from airports, because nothing says toxic ex like making sure your former partner is literally grounded. Meanwhile, her ex? He was out there living his best, ticket-free life, completely unbothered. Probably sipping a pint at the pub, laughing about the absolute chaos he had set in motion. So, what's the lesson here? Maybe just block your ex and move on. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that some people will literally steal a turtle before they let you live in peace. If you love stories that surprise and intrigue, don't forget to subscribe to Julia's Storytime for more unforgettable tales. See you next time.